안녕하세요, 안녕하세요, hey you, it's Natalia. So I thought we could do some basic stuff first, and then we'll get into like some more deeper things with like sprinkles of random not so deep things. How does that sound? Yeah? Yeah, okay. I am Mexican American, but I do not speak Spanish. At the time of this recording, I am in the USA. Edit, right here, edit. I get a lot of like comments that kind of sound like some of you guys think I'm in Korea, which I understand. It must have been like super confusing to come into this channel and I'm posting Korea vlogs, but I'm like in the US because those vlogs were from like a year, 2 years ago, but you know what? Sorry, my man. I started this channel for several reasons. The first of which is I wanted to help other learners as like a fellow learner, because when I was learning I felt kind of alone in learning Korean, and while yes there were like some YouTube videos about learning Korean, thank you Margarita, I felt like there wasn't enough, if that makes sense. So when I came back from studying abroad, I wanted to be that channel that I didn't have, I guess. Anyway, if you guys happen to remember when you subscribed to this channel, like what the subscriber number was, I would love to hear that, because I know some of you guys have been with me from the very beginning and a lot of you guys are also new, so it'd be really cool. Contrary to popular belief, I am not an extrovert. I am an introvert. I am so strongly an introvert. The thing is, like, when I'm talking to the camera, I feel like I'm talking to a close friend, so I'm able to like be myself. Like this, like the girl that you guys see on YouTube really is me. Like, I get some comments being like, you're so immature, but I'm like, okay, but like this is how I am with my best friends. That's why it looks immature, because we're not close friends to those people. But if you were to meet me in real life, you'd probably be like, she's not the same. And that's just because I don't know you in real life. I'd be like really uncomfortable. So if you meet me in real life and I seem odd or different or fake, I guess it's because I feel uncomfortable. That's why. My MBIT, because I know people always want to know that when you start talking about like personality types and stuff, is ISTPT, meaning introvert, introverted, observant, thinking, perspective, and turbulent. I don't know what the turbulent stands for, but it does not sound good. Oh, I have a picture for this. Okay, so when I was in kindergarten, we had career day, which I think is a pretty standard thing in the USA at least, and while everyone in my class was like, I want to be a scientist and I want to be a pop star and I want to be a doctor, there was me saying I wanted to work at McDonald's. You see this picture? There's me right in the middle. But actually, like, shout out to my parents for being like, okay, if you want to work at McDonald's, we're gonna go through the drive-thru, get you a bag, and we're gonna tape it to an apron. That's literally what we did. I actually remember my mom going through the drive-thru being like, hi, we ordered some food, also can we have a spare bag? So when I was like 2, I really wanted a baby brother, and I prayed to God to give me a baby brother. And when my mom got pregnant saying like, you're gonna be a big sister, she told me I was gonna have a brother, because the doctors had told her the baby was a boy, and then the baby was born and the baby was not a boy, the baby was a girl. I got a baby sister, not a baby brother. And you can totally tell from the expression in this picture, I was not happy. My parents said that like we came home from the hospital with my sister, right? And after a few days, I was like, Mommy, where's the boy? It's okay. I got a baby brother. I just had to wait a few more years, but that was all. It was really funny. When I was in 5th grade, so about 10 or 11, we got a student from Korea in my class, in my 5th grade class. She was like, I don't remember the details, but basically her parents were in Korea and they sent her to the US to live with like her aunt or something for a few months, and so they enrolled her in school and she was put into my class, but she didn't speak any English. And I remember at that time foreign languages were not a thing to me. So I would try to talk to this girl because she looked so alone. Like the other students didn't really try to talk to her because she couldn't speak English. They'd just be like, oh, she can't talk or she doesn't talk. And I was just like fascinated by the fact that she didn't talk. Like to me, it was like a challenge. I was like, I'm gonna make this girl talk. I'd sit next to her and I'd walk with her and I'd go to recess with her all the time. And I'd be like looking at her and she'd look at me and I'd be like, talk. And she'd be like, talk. She just started repeating everything I would say, but she didn't know what it meant. Spent all recess just yelling the word talk at each other. I wish I had like remembered her name or contact information, because after a few months she went back to Korea. Like how cool would that be to like meet her now and be like, hey, remember me? I was that annoying girl that kept trying to make you talk even though you didn't speak English. Yeah, I speak Korean now. We should hang. Like, that would be so cool, but I don't know her name. What a waste. The next thing is, when I was in middle school, I played competitive volleyball for 2 years, and I found out while I was good when playing with people at the rec center, I was not so good when playing with people who actually knew what they were doing. I wasn't like horrible, but like I made the team, but I was definitely like one of the weaker players. Yeah, after 2 years, I was like, this is not for me. No. So when I was in elementary school, and even part of middle school, I think, I was such a bookworm. Like, I would spend my lunches reading books. I'm pretty sure there was some recesses as well that I would just read. And so I really loved Belle, like from Beauty and the Beast, because she was always reading and she had brown hair, and I don't know why. Like, obviously she's white, but I just identified with her, and I was like, she is me. She's so smart. Look at her with all her books. Look how I'm so happy getting my first like Beauty and the Beast movie for Christmas. I'm pretty sure Belle is like the perfect example of like Stockholm syndrome, which is like when you fall in love with the person that kidnapped you. When I was in 9th grade, so 14, 15 years old, I really wanted to be an architect. My dream was to go to Rice University to study architecture, which, if you are not from Texas, Rice University is a very, very competitive private university. It's definitely considered like a Ivy League of the South, if you will. And they, at least at the time, they only accepted 24 students into their architecture program every year. And I really wanted to go there. When it actually came time to apply to university, I no longer wanted to be an architect. And I didn't even apply to Rice because I felt it was too bothersome to submit 2 SAT subject tests. When I was a sophomore in high school, I was part of the color guard. So not like color guard as in ROTC, but color guard as in the marching band. So I was one of those girls that was like twirling a flag, that was throwing rifles into the air and catching them, like the ones that perform in the halftime show. Yeah. And I only did it for a year because it was so intense. When I was in junior in high school and a senior, I actually attended a hagwon without knowing what a hagwon was. So we were some of the only non-Korean people there. Like, got there, owned by all Korean people, be speaking in Korean, go into the classroom, it's just all these Korean people. It was like me, her, and like maybe one other non-Korean person. Honest to God, did not know what a hagwon was, but once I found out, I was like, that's what I attended in high school. Like, I would go there for SAT prep and for one-on-one classes for AP macroeconomics, because I found economics very challenging, and AP physics C, because I was dying in that class. So girl groups. My favorite K-pop girl groups are 21, Sistar, and Girls' Day. And if you don't know who they are, that's because they've all disbanded. My senior year of high school, I was president of both the National Honor Society and the National Spanish Honor Society, because back then I did speak Spanish. I feel like that honestly makes the pain worse in regards to like having forgotten Spanish. Okay, I have pictures for this. So in 3rd grade, we had to dress up as like some kind of like famous historical figure of some sort, and I chose, and I don't know why, like I have no recollection of why I did this, but I chose Marie Curie. If you don't know who Marie Curie is, she is a Polish-French physicist who did like pioneering research in radioactivity. I don't know why I chose her. Maybe I just was like, she's a boss bee. I don't know, but I chose her. I was like, yes, I am her. She is me. Like, look at this. I was like, yes, I am Marie Curie. We had to go to school dressed like this, and give little presentations on like the person that we chose. Honestly, all I remember from what I was saying in that speech was that she studied like radiation or radioactivity, and that she died due to exposure to radiation from her own experiments. Anyway, thank you for all your research, Madam Curie. Yes. All right. So my senior year of high school, I took AP Calculus B, I think, and I failed that test. Like, I took that test knowing I was gonna fail. I got a 1, and I'm pretty sure you get a 1 just by putting your name on the piece of paper. Yeah, so the only reason I took the AP exam was because our high school would exempt us from the final if we took the AP exam, like if we sat for it. We didn't have to pass it, we just had to sit for it. So I sat for it. I went, I did try, but I tried with a very like, B looks good. Yep, because I knew. I didn't know no calculus. Like, I ended up having to take calculus at A&M. And I remember my professor was seeing me probably like 2 to 3 times a week because I needed help with calculus. It was so hard to me. I don't know why. My favorite YouTubers of like all time, and all time being like the ones that I will watch every video no matter what it's about, are Best Dressed. She's on a bit of a hiatus right now. That's fine. Best Dressed. I miss you, Ashley. What the heck? And Alicia Marie. I love her content. Girl's such an entrepreneur. Yes. Oh my gosh. Also, if you watch my videos from maybe like 2018, I used to use this little like green screen 1/3 that would come in and be like, here's my, you know, Instagram handle, here's my Twitter handle. And at that time, I was not a fan of Alicia Marie, so I didn't know that the one that I had gone and like found on YouTube really randomly was the one that was made to look like hers. So embarrassing. Senior year of high school, I'm trying to figure out what college I'm going to go to. I've gotten into all the universities I applied to, and we are touring Texas A&M University, me and my mom, for the 3rd or 4th time or something. And I knew, and my mom knew, that I did not want to go to Texas A&M. It was like the bottom of the bottom for me. Like, I did not want to go there. And as we're touring, I just had a breakdown. I just dropped. Like, if you're one of my Aggies, those picnic tables between Walter and Sabisa, yeah, I just started crying out of nowhere. Like, literally, it wasn't even like I felt like I was gonna start crying. I just all of a sudden. And I remember my mom was like, what just happened? And the students, oh my gosh, the students were like, are you okay? And I'm like, I don't want to go here. I don't want to go here. I don't want to go here. It's really funny now, and it's really embarrassing, but like, I don't know what happened. Anyway, I ended up attending Texas A&M University, and I loved it. I actually cried multiple times after graduation because I didn't want to leave Texas A&M. When I turned 15, I had a full out quinceañera. And if you don't know what a quinceañera is, it's like a coming of age ceremony for girls when they turn 15. But I had one, and it was lit. So I'm just gonna leave it right there. It was lit. I have been a fan of EXO since their debut. Like, I remember I was sitting at the kitchen table doing homework when they dropped their music video, and I love EXO. I love EXO so much. Mirrors. I hate mirrors. They scare the crap out of me. I don't like them. Like, the only place a mirror belongs, in my personal opinion, is in the restroom. That's it. Oh, and in a dance studio. That's it. So originally, when I entered Texas A&M, I thought I was going to study abroad in China. Like, that was my goal. I literally made sure all the universities I applied to had programs in China because I wanted to study in Beijing because I'd been studying Chinese for quite a while. And then literally like a week or so before the application deadline for studying abroad was due, I decided to go to Korea. So this one is a little deeper in that it's more personal and honestly kind of sad. But you know what? I don't know, I put it on the list, so we're going with it. And that is when I was in 8th grade, I lost a lot of my best friends. And honestly, like, to this day, I really don't know for sure why they all wanted to stop being friends with me. Like, it was honestly one of the hardest, like, oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna cry. One of the hardest, like, times of my life. I don't know, it was weird. It was like, oh my god, I'm actually crying. Oh my god, what the fuck? I don't know, to go from, like, these are my, like, ride or die friends, and then suddenly none of them want to be, like, friends with me anymore, and I didn't know why. Luckily, I had my friend Ryan. We've been best friends since we were 4, and honestly, without him, I probably wouldn't have made it that year. Like, it was so hard. Like, I remember I would just come home from school and just cry. Why the heck am I crying? I don't even want to be friends with him anymore. Let's switch back to some better moments of my life. So I intended on only spending 1 semester in Korea, but I enjoyed, honestly, like, I really enjoyed life in Korea so much. Oh my god, this is like so one of the reasons I really liked studying in Korea was because of the community that I had. Like, I had so many friends and we were always like together. Like, I never had to eat alone. I never had to go anywhere alone if I didn't want to. Like, there were always people checking in with me, being like, hey, where are you? Let's go get coffee. Hey, where are you? Let's get dinner. Hey, you didn't come to dinner. Where are you? Should we bring you food? Like, da da da. Like, it was, I felt very cared for. This is really funny that this one came right after the other one because I did not plan it like that. Definitely much better than 8th grade. That's for sure. I am there's the second part to this bullet point. Oh my god, I need a tissue. Hold on. Okay, damn. 8th grade making me cry when I'm freaking 25 and a half. Okay, so the second half of this bullet point was I literally had a breakdown on the first floor bathroom of the International Studies building, or FLEC, when I was begging my parents to let me stay in Korea for a second semester. I'll put footage of this building because it's no longer the building used for this study abroad program, but now that I think about it, I had 2 breakdowns in that restroom. That's a lot of breakdowns. The first time was because I was begging my parents to let me stay in Korea and they did not want me to stay in Korea. They wanted me to go home. The second time I had a breakdown, it's kind of funny. The second time I had a breakdown, like I was in Korean class and we were taking a break, which means I had like an hour or so left of class. I went to the restroom and as I'm washing my hands, I'm like, I don't know what I was doing. I must have been like checking my lipstick or something. And I noticed that like one of my front teeth, which I will not put my teeth in your face, whatever, because I'm drinking bubble tea and I have braces, so I don't know what could be in there, but one of my 2 front teeth like chipped, like the corner. It's kind of embarrassing because I was like 21 or something, but I did not know that dentists could like mold fake tooth on there so it didn't look like it was chipped. I thought I was gonna be walking around for the rest of my life with a chipped tooth. I thought my life was over pretty much. On this ear, I want to get a mid helix piercing, like right here. Yeah, right here. And I already know what piece of jewelry I want. I will put it on the screen, but I don't know. I feel like it would balance out my ear really well because I have this flat, which was supposed to be part of a design that I wanted to do, like 2 smaller, I guess, earring pieces here and then this one in the middle. But then the piercer told me that my ear is too small for that design. Okay, I think this is known by everybody, but I must say it anyway. J-Hope is my ultimate bias because sometimes I get questions asking if J-Hope is my bias and I'm like, are you new here, aren't you? You're new. Senior year, I was driving to school listening to BTS and I don't know, there was just a moment when I was like, that one, he's the one. I don't know who he is, but he's the one. And then I had to go figure out whose voice it was, and it was J-Hope's. And honestly, I have no regrets about anything. Oh, okay, this next one. So I am a planner because the unknown makes me anxious. Like, I am also like financially risk averse. I do not like thinking like, oh yeah, maybe I have enough money. I don't know, I'll find out when I get there. Like, no. I have like Excel sheets on top of Excel sheets on top of Excel sheets. Oh my gosh. Okay, so before my second semester in Korea, like, I was like, oh, let me just take a day trip to Hongdae, because if you remember, my school was not near Hongdae, or not near Hongdae. It wasn't even in Seoul. But I was like, oh, I know how to get to like Seoul, and I'm gonna go by myself, and I'll just go and come back, blah blah. And I took the subway just because it was like easier. I had a lovely time in Hongdae, but then on my way back to the university, I got lost. I remember I kind of like panicked a little bit, like not like I was concerned for my safety or anything like that, like I knew I could figure it out, but I was like, I don't understand how I got lost. My university is at one end of line 1, so all I had to do was get on line 1 and take it to my university. I didn't realize there was like this little off, like little, you know, it only goes down like 1 or 2 like stops, so it's not like I went like 10 stops or 13 super far out or anything. But I remember I'm like, da-na-na-na-na, minding my own business, and the car stops, right? As it's supposed to at a stop. And I hear the little conductor man being like, 이번 역은 마지막역이에요. 내려주세요. 뭐뭐뭐. And I'm like, 마지막역? This is not my school. What do you mean 마지막역? And then he's like, 내려주세요. And this is all happening within like a 5-second span, right? And I'm like, 내려주세요? you want me to get out? Why? We're not there yet. And then this Korean man who's like another passenger, he's like, oh, last stop, off, or something. And I'm like, why do I need to, what? So I get off. I'm like, maybe there's another car coming. Like, cause sometimes they'll have you get off one subway, another subway will come and you get on that one and continue down the line because they want to retire that like set of subway cars. I don't know. So it was kind of like a stressful but also funny situation because I was walking around asking the Koreans that also got off being like 천안에 가고 싶었는데 그 내리라고 해서 이제 뭐 어떻게 하죠? And then they didn't know either. They were like, I don't know. We're confused too. And I was like, what do you mean you're confused? You're the Koreans. Christmas of 2017 was spent in Berlin, Germany with my friend Laura, who you guys have seen before on my channel if you've been here a while, but Laura is one of the best friends that I made while studying abroad in Korea. We were there for a year together and she invited me and some of the other girls in our friend group to visit her in Germany. The only time I've ever been to Europe, and it was great. I had such a lovely time seeing Germany and like just different German cities and having a German like host family to teach me things. It was great. It was a really nice experience. Thank you, Laura. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when I was studying abroad in Korea, there were 2 YouTubers that had like meetup events that I attended. One of the YouTubers was Megan Bone, which I think this is one of the few times she's ever done a meetup, like ever. And then the other YouTuber, they don't make content anymore, and I think they've taken a lot of their videos down, so I won't say who they were because I don't think they really want to be active on the platform anymore. But I remember going to their meetups and like they had all these like I don't want to say fans because it feels weird to call subscribers fans, but there were so many people and I remember thinking, wow, I could never be a YouTuber. Like, you have to not only make content, but then like you have to be able to entertain all these people when they want to talk to you, and like I would never do that. Okay, a lot of you guys already know this already, but I love crime content. Like, I love watching crime content. I like listening to my Crime Junkie podcast every Monday morning. I like watching crime videos on YouTube, whether that's like BuzzFeed Unsolved or Kendall Ray or some other like I just like channel that makes crime content. Oh, that reminds me, all my favorite Korean dramas are actually like crime related dramas. So Signal is my all-time favorite. Law School just came out on Netflix. Finished it. So good. I'm not really into dramas or like looking at dramas or watching dramas, but those are so good. So good. And then I really like Pinocchio. So yeah. And that leads me to the next fact, and that is I love Lee Jong-suk. Lee Jong-suk is my favorite like Korean actor, and it's not necessarily like I love Lee Jong-suk specifically, even though I literally just said I love Lee Jong-suk. I just think he does such a good job at picking roles for like dramas. Like, whenever he's in a drama, I'm never disappointed with the storyline. Oh my gosh. Okay, so while I was studying in Korea, my friends and I, we were at like this bar next to our campus. Like, it wasn't anything crazy, nothing loud. It was one of those bars where you just order some beer and you chit chat. That's it. And as we're chit chatting, all of a sudden I feel this really like severe pain in my eye. And so I took it out and I like cleaned it and everything, and I put it back in, and it still really hurt. And so I just kind of like took it out, threw it away, and was kind of like, you know, but after a few days, my eye was still red and there was like, you know, like, So I went to the doctor's office on campus and they directed me to like an actual optometrist because they said they didn't like do eye stuff. They didn't look at eyes at the campus doctor or whatever, which is fine. And so one of my Korean roommates who was like studying something related to like the medical field went with me. And it ends up, I somehow cut my eye in that bar. I was not intoxicated. We were literally just sitting, like, chit-chatting about the day, and all of a sudden there was this sharp pain. My favorite music genre is reggaeton, or Latin pop music. My favorite areas of Seoul are Hongdae and Ikseondong, and I'm sure I will add more areas to the list once I move back to Korea, but, like, I just love these areas. Ooh, my favorite Starbucks drink is the mango, like, dragon fruit lemonade. It is so good. It is so delicious. I have it year-round. It's so good. My dream job is to do YouTube full-time as a Korea travel vlogger. Thank you for watching to the end of this video if you did. Hopefully I will share something with you that is useful in studying Korean in the next video. But anyway, 다음에 봐요 guys. Bye!